everyone can join me today. I'm really excited about today's cards. And you know, I shared these with you on last week's live, and it seems that you're a little excited about these fun accordion fold cards, or Z fold cards, they're also known as. I'm going to give everyone a chance to get logged in, but I have to tell you, I was reading all of your comments before we started. So we're here in the United States, many of us, and we had this massive winter storm come through, and I'm reading the comments. It's a bunch of us are dealing with it. Well, right before I went live, so I got to back up. So the last 2 days we didn't get snow. I'm going to call it white sleet. It looks like snow, but it's hard. So you walk on it and you kind of walk on top of it. It's really gross. It looks pretty, but it's not snow. It's just icy, sleety kind of stuff. Well, we had a situation, I've never seen this before, but as the sleet was falling, it would hit the rooftops and then it was falling down on our driveways. Okay, no problem. We've never experienced this, and it's a fairly new house to us. But anyway, right in front of the garage is this huge, not a snow drift, a sleet drift. It's giant. And anyway, so right before I was about to go live, I heard some massive cursing outside. And I'm like, what is that? I'm not going to tell you what he said because it is not Simply Simple Stamping approved. And I was like, oh, and so I look outside. And this poor man, my neighbor over here, he's trying to get out of his garage, but he can't because he's got this ice hill in front of his garage. And he's out there with this shovel, a gardening shovel. See, we don't get this kind of weather in Oklahoma. And he's out there with this gardening shovel trying to break it up. I feel so bad for him. And I said, my husband's home because they shut down his work today. The city's kind of been shut down for the last 2 days. But anyway, I said, maybe we should go take our snow shovel over to him. And my husband says, well, I would, except it's still in the storage unit. I'm like, well, that's going to do us a lot of good with everything that's going on. So I think after this melts, we are definitely going to go get our snow shovels so that we have them. But my heart and prayers go out to the guy across the street. Well, okay, hopefully my little story has given everyone a chance to get online. Guys, we've got a really great project lined up today. We're going to create this wonderful creative Z-fold card. Now, I've given you the measurements ahead of time, so I hope a lot of you are going to create along with me. And even if you don't have your supplies ready, not a problem. You're going to be able to find my download. There's a download for today's card, so you'll be able to get that. You can print that off, stamp on your own, or come back and watch the replay of today's video and create along with me. So it is February 24th. Snow and sleet on the brain. It is 11 a.m. Central Time. If you're on now, you're on with me live. But if it's after that, welcome to the replay. Guys, I've got everything all set up. In fact, I even have my chai tea because it's very cold here today. So I'm ready to go. I hope you are too. We're going to move the camera around. So give me just a quick hot second here. And we'll get situated. I always like to say, enjoy that view of my ceiling. It's lovely. All right, there is our download. Brenda is my moderator. She's going to share the link to that download. But you can always find it at simplysimplestamping.com, or if you look down in the YouTube description, you'll find a direct link to today's post, and you'll be able to get this. By the way, if you save this to your computer, you'll be able to click here to rewatch the video, click here to order any of your Stampin' Up! Supplies, because I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. There's everything you need and your measurements. But first, we're going to show the cards for today. So I've got 3 of them. This is one of the cards we're going to make today. It's just a very simple card, but it's such a nice wow. Look at that. It's just a really fun card. And guys, guess what? We're going to create it with just one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I've got a fancy smancy cutting idea for you. And then you see I've got a wonderful place here to write my message, added a bow. It's just a wonderful card. The other card we're going to make today is this one. And this one's just a little bit different because, well, of course, this one was landscape. You know, we went landscape. This one I went portrait, and I tied it up. Tied it up with a little ribbon, so it makes it a little extra fancy. And then there's my card here. I can write my message. Isn't that one pretty with that ribbon? So we're going to make both of these today, and I'm very excited to teach you. Oh, let me show you the third card. I've got one more. Now, we're not going to make this one, but I wanted to show you one more. Pet sympathy cards. That's kind of something that we all need, right? And this one, I thought turned out really nice because I used the Bloom Where You're Planted designer series paper. And when I stamped the dog from Pampered Pets and colored it in with my blends, you can't see the pattern behind it, can you? Yeah, so there's a wonderful little pet sympathy card. Oh, I just read, let's see, somebody had just said they made the cards from last week and really enjoyed them. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, my friends, let's create a card. We're going to create this wonderful thank you for your kindness card. Now, let's talk about what we need, and we don't need a lot. We need a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I'm going to use Rich Razzleberry today. I have a piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches by 12. I do want to tell you, if it has a pattern, you're going to want to go portrait mode. So cut the 4 inches so that it's in portrait mode. We're going to chop this down. And then I have 2 pieces of basic white. Guys, these 2 pieces are 2.5 by 3 3/4. And then I'm going to add just a white organdy glittered bow because I think it's going to make it extra special. Okay, I hope you guys are going to create along with me. We're going to start here with the cardstock. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and the cutting on this is really easy. We're going to put the 8.5 inches up here at the top. And the first cut we're going to do is we're just going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. So there's 8.5 cut in two equal pieces, 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to set that one off to the side for a minute because this one, I'm going to pull out the arm here on my trimmer, and I want to cut this down to 9 inches. So we'll cut that little piece off. We're going to use that, so hold on to it. Now, while I've got this in here, let's get that cutting blade out of the way because we're going to do a quick score, 2 quick score lines. And I'm going to score at 3 inches and at 6 inches. That's my accordion. That's it. Look at that. Boom. Done. Okay, so there's that piece. This one that's left over, remember it was 4 1/4 by 11. Let's cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And those are 2 equal pieces, but we just need one. You might want to end up saving this one because we're going to use it on the sentiment. Okay, now we're going to talk, well, I put the paper trimmer away and I still have more to cut. How about we cut our designer series paper? All right, so we're going to put the 12 inches up here at the top. And our first cut, remember this is 4 inches by 12, and we're going to cut at 5 1/4. All right, and that piece is going to adhere right onto your cardstock. So I'm just going to set that there so I don't get confused and accidentally cut the wrong piece. Now, with what's remaining, I have 6 3/4 inches remaining. I want 2 pieces. Actually, let's do this. First, I'm going to cut this down, and I want to cut it down to 3 3/4. So I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch off, okay? That is scrap, by the way. And then this piece that's remaining, let's cut this one down to 2.5 inches, and I need 2 of those. So that'll be 2.5 by 3 3/4 and 2.5 by 3 3/4. This is also a scrap piece. I'll probably use it on something else down the road. All right, now we're done with the paper cutter. And we can start kind of putting this card together. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and do our stamping. So let me bring in those pieces of basic white that we had. All right, now for this card, I used the Dragonfly Garden. But I got to be honest, I just wanted these sentiments. I'm not using any of the images. So you're going to want to use whatever your favorite sentiment stamp set is. It's going to work great with this card. But yeah, we're going to say, thank you for your kindness. And on the inside, we're going to say you're an inspiration. And we're going to do that in some matching ink. So let's bring in a Rich Razzleberry. So I told you that my husband is home today because, you know, it's Oklahoma and we kind of shut down the whole city when we get snow and sleet and ice and all of that good stuff. So he's got Tugger in his office. He's actually teleworking today. So you notice I just stamped my thank you for your kindness just kind of right there in the middle. We're going to punch that out. So no reason to be all particular. Then we're going to stamp you're an inspiration right there. Guys, that's all the stamping we need to do. That's pretty nifty. All right, so now let's do some punching. So I'm going to use my everyday label punch. Oh, Snowy Mom says it shuts down there too. I know, it's just what we kind of deal with. Some areas of the country, I always joke that Oklahoma has 2 snowplows for the entire state. We don't, but, I like to say that. All right, there is my sentiment. This one is going to be for the inside. So I'm just going to set that one off to the side. Do you remember this piece that we had left over? This was that one cut. Now remember, we actually had 2 pieces left over. We had 2 of these. I think I can get these both out of this one. Let me see. Maybe I can't. We're going to get one there. Yep, we sure can't get one more. That's all right, because we have this extra piece. It is truly a one-sheet wonder. I like to conserve my cardstock, though, so I'll come in and I'll cut that off, and that way I can use that for scrap for something else. So here's how I want to teach you how to create the label. I'm going to cut these in half. I think I actually did this on the last video, too. So we're going to snip off these corners. Do you see these little corners? We're going to snip those off on the long ones, because I don't want them to show. You notice I'm not doing anything fancy. It's not going to matter. And on this one, we're going to snip off these ends. This is optional too, by the way, guys. I do it just because I like them to be just a little bit smoother. So I'm going to throw that on the floor so I can torment the dog later. Oh, by the way, so I'm not joking. I did the video that I did last week. I had some little scrappy pieces. I found it in the dog's water bowl. How's that? Crazy. Okay, we're going to put this together first, Connie. Let's focus. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my silicone mat underneath me. So let's make sure we put these correctly. There we go. And I'm just going to put some adhesive here. You can also put it on your sentiment. Brenda says those puppers are naughty. Oh, he has been quite the little naughty dog today, too. In fact, okay, so here's something else. I told you my husband's teleworking today. And there's something you need to know when your husband's home teleworking. I am yelling at the dog, Tugger, you pooped on the floor again. He was on a conference call. Oh, my gosh. So I had to go into my husband's office. Sorry, I said poop on your call. Oh, the fun of teleworking. I'm not used to him being home. So anyway, he said, lucky you, I was on mute. And I said, oh, thank heavens. All right, so you can see I'm just kind of layering these together. Now you see why I kind of wanted to cut off those edges. It just kind of cleans it up a little bit. And you can stretch this out as far as you want it to go. I just think, just, what is that? About 1/8 of an inch. Looks really good. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. And guess what? We're going to put this card together. That is just how fast and easy this card is. We're going to adhere the bigger piece. This is the 4 by 5 1/4 designer series paper. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The middle of this is going to get covered up. If you're one that loves to conserve, you might, come in maybe with a circle die or something. If you want to do something there, because you can see a lot of that's going to be cut out, or you could use your rectangles or a scallop. Just make sure it is not bigger than 3 inches by 4 1/4, because we wouldn't want to mess up our card. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my bone folder. And I want this to have a really good crease because I don't want the card popping open. Love my bone folder. Yeah, Brenda said it's a good thing we love him. Oh, I'm telling you, that little naughty boy, he is a handful. You guys got to see him last week. But this week he is downstairs with the hubster. So we want to go ahead and kind of pay attention to how our card's going to open. So we adhere it down to the card correctly. So let's add our adhesive. There's my opening. And we're just going to center that up right there in our card. Perfect. Remember, we had 2 pieces of our designer series paper. We're going to put one here, and we're going to put our other one here on the inside. So let's go ahead and do this. So that is the reason I wanted you to cut this particular piece of designer series paper in portrait mode. Now, on the other cards, because we're going to be opening it in portrait, we want to go landscape because, we don't want our flowers going the wrong way. Let me tell you what happens, though, guys. If you cut it the wrong way, you're just going to make your card open the other direction. It's all good. There's no right or wrong with this one. So obviously, because my designer series paper was cut this way, I can see that's how I want to open my card. If I had cut it the other direction and my flowers were going like this, I just make my card open that way. See, there's no mistakes, just creative opportunities. Okay, so there we go. Now we have that stamped "You Are an Inspiration." Let's add that here to the inside. Look how fast and easy this card was. Oh my gosh. We love it when fancy cards are quick and easy. And this is definitely one of them. And I love that I can just pull out that one sheet of cardstock and boom, 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 and I'm done. Now we're going to add our sentiment here. So let's put our adhesive on the back of the sentiment. You could also use Stampin' Dimensionals on this, but if you're mailing it, remember this card's already kind of thick because that's several layers on there, all right? So if you're mailing, you might want to skip the dimensionals on this particular card. Okay, remember we had that wonderful little white glittered bow. Love this ribbon. And I'm going to press that ribbon onto a mini glue dot. Oh, Sylvia says she loves the paper selection. I do too. Flowering Fields. And you know what? I'm not sure if I told you that at the beginning. Flowering Fields. And look at that gorgeous, gorgeous color. I love that color. And if you didn't have Rich Razzleberry, you could also do this with Blackberry Bliss. That would work too because there's Blackberry Bliss in there. So guys, voila, we made a simple accordion card, or Z-fold card, just like that. Boom, boom. That's why it's called the Z-fold card. Zzz. Okay, this. All right, I'm sorry. Connie's had too much coffee and I guess too much chai tea. Okay, you guys want to make another one? Let's go ahead and make one more. And for this one, I've gone ahead and cut everything. I hope you don't mind. So there's my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this is in soft succulent. There's my 4 1/4 by 9, scored at 3 inches and 6 inches. Okay, we've got that ready to go. This card, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to add layers. We're going to add some layers. So I have 3 pieces. This is Evening Evergreen. They are cut 2 3/4 by 4 inch. Okay. Now on the designer series paper, guess what? It's all the same cuts that we did before. So I've got the 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, and then I have my 4 by 5 1/4. So all that is the same. Now remember on the other card, we used basic white. Well, this time I'm going to use crumb cake. Again, measurements are the same, 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay. All right. Well, let's take one of these crumb cake. And the stamp set I chose for this one, guess what? Just like before, I want the sentiment. I'm all about that, sending all the hugs. I thought that was a great sentiment. I love this font. You pick your favorite sentiment though. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in. I want to bring in a little more of that Evening Evergreen. I thought it just kind of made this card pop. And so just like we did before, we'll ink that up, stamp it right there. I'm going to go ahead and close this up because that is actually all the stamping we're going to do on this particular card. And I'm going to come back in with my Everyday Label punch. I like this one. It kind of fills up the punch a little bit more. Give that a punch. This is official scrap now. Maybe that one won't end up in the dog's water bowl. We'll see. You never know. Okay, and we'll put this card together. So You remember the drill. We're going to take our designer series paper. By the way, this is Symbols of Fortune. It almost pains me to put adhesive on the gorgeous gold side, but I love the other paper. I struggle, and I'm sure you do too, when you love all the designer series paper and you just can't decide which side. I did see a comment just pop up. How can you make the card stand up? This one does not stand up. So this is just a card. I suppose if they had something to prop it up on, but I'm not going to recommend this as a stand-up card. So it's still a wow, but it's not a stand-up card. Okay, so there, now we got to put our Z-fold going this way. And I'm not going to adhere that down yet. But let's go ahead and put our designer series paper on, and I'll show you some of my little tricks here. So there's my, whoops, no, we're doing layers, Connie. So the designer series paper is going to go here on the layer. And before I add these last two layers, we're gonna get creative with our cardstock. Right in the middle, I want you to punch 2 everyday labels. And now we can add this one here. And that will go here. I'm gonna tell you what I should have done. I should have put this piece here. So I guess we could take it off, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. Here's why, because this is going to go here, my last piece of crumb cake. And if I were writing, I wouldn't want to write over that. So forgive me, I put this on the wrong one, but it's all going to be fine. And here's the thing, as long as I'm aware of it, I'm just going to be really careful when I write. Because, you know, we talk about it around here. We make mistakes when we stamp. So we'll add that piece there. I'm going to move these for a minute. And we're going to go ahead and adhere these onto our card. So I have also decided when it comes to my dog Tugger, I'm about to change his name to Doggone It Tugger. I swear that is all I say around here. Doggone it Tugger, because he keeps pooping on my floor. And he wants to go out constantly. We have to put this, we call it a pillow. Some people call it the cone of shame. It's like this, it looks like a travel pillow that goes around his neck, but we have to put that on him because he can squeeze out of the fence. He's still not quite big enough. So this travel pillow keeps him from going through. He doesn't like to wear it. He kind of hides. But today he loves the snow and the ice and all of that. Anyway, I just finally went, okay, I'm just leaving the pillow on you. I don't know what else to do. All right, now we're going to take our ribbon, and this is the Evening Evergreen Open Weave ribbon. I believe I cut 16 inches of that ribbon. So let's tie this in a bow in the front. I really think this one with the bow on it is just really extra special. Crafters don't make mistakes. We have workarounds. You are so right, Nancy. You are so right. We just have workarounds. Okay, so there is my bow. And I'm going to trim this side down just a touch. All right. Now, what I want to do with this, because you notice it's just loose on here, I want to decide where I want that to go and where I want to put my tag. Now, we just did this with the tag, but we're going to do it again. Cut, snip, maybe it'll end up in the water bowl. We shall see. And we're going to do the exact same technique, adding this great layer. And you know, here's the thing. We didn't have to pull out extra cardstock to do this. We had it. And you know what? If you didn't do the layers, remember you have extra soft succulent. I don't know what I almost said. But yeah, so you could still do it with the extra soft succulent. Now, before I put the adhesive on the labels, come on, adhesive. I keep touching it and it keeps It's getting on me instead of my paper. All right, there we go. I'm still trying not to press too hard when I use that one. Oh, now I have adhesive all over my fingers. All right, and I'm going to give you another little trick on this one. It kind of lines up flat right there. So that kind of gives you something to visualize as you're putting this one together. It just lines up right on that one. Okay, now adhesive here and here. And we'll add our last ones. And just kind of do it at the same measurement you just did. All right, now I'm going to add this one here, and I'm going to kind of put my bow over to the left side just a little bit, okay? And we'll put, it's just going to be a day. It's going to be sleety, snowy, neighbors cursing kind of day. All right, so we have this. Now, I do want to go ahead and secure my ribbon in the back. I don't want it to go anywhere. I don't have to go crazy, but I am going to put just a little Scotch tape. I know some of you are like anti-Scotch tape. No, it's not archival quality. You feel free to use maybe some of the Terran tape. Terran tape would be great here, but I'm fine just using some Scotch tape. Now, we add this one to the front of our card. And now when we want to give it, they'll just untie it. It's like a little package. And now we can write our message here and give it. Remember, if you need to write more, there's room here on the back too, right? And so love that. And we can just tie that one up again. So give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and bring the cards in. Stick around because I've got some show and tell. And I'm going to show you the cards that we're going to make in next week's live. And I really hope you guys can be here for it. You thought this was a wow. Wait till you see what we're going to do next week. So we've got our thank you for your kindness. We've got our all the hugs. And then we have this one. This was our pet sympathy card. And I just think these are such a fun card to create. Easy because you just need that one sheet of cardstock and a third sheet of your designer series paper. Okay, let's talk cards for next week. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can hardly stand it. Okay. Here's what we're going to make. This is another accordion fold, kind of like the one we made today, but this one, here we go. Just prepare for wildness. So I've got my jade and gold ribbon there. Whoa! Isn't that so fun? We're going to use that new Abstract Beauty paper. I did a little dry embossing on this one. So happy to know you. Room to write my message. A fun little tag. And again, this one's just going to tie up. I won't tie it because that'll take a little bit. So we also have have a peachy day with the You're a Peach paper. Oh, isn't it so cute? Love, love, love these really fun accordion cards. We got one more little nice masculine one. And this paper, if I remember right, this paper is from Tidings of Christmas. So let's find a way to start using some of that Christmas paper in a totally different way. Great masculine card, isn't it? Love that one. So that's what we're going to be creating next week. And I will be sharing there on the community page on YouTube the measurements and everything that you need. I'll be getting that link set up here pretty soon. And so we're going to create those cards, those fun accordion cards next week. So be sure to join us. That'll be on March 3rd. Little show and tell, because I think show and tell is fun. I got a fabulous gift from Kathy from Houston, Texas. She made me this calendar. I love it. And she did this with just one sheet or half a sheet of cardstock. Oh, there's that same paper I just used today, the Symbols of Fortune. She added a little calendar for me. Do you love those little brass embellishments. Ooh, I think they're so pretty. Relax and enjoy your day. So shout out to Kathy. Thank you so much for my fabulous calendar. I have another card I received. This one's from Nancy in California. I loved this one. It was so bright and cheerful. And she wrote inside and said, it's a stamp set from 2002. And here's what just made my day about that. Guys, Stampin' Up! Stamps just don't go out of style. 2002, and she's still making great cards with it. That's why sometimes we like to say our stamps are heirloom quality. I mean, that's from 2002, still making incredible cards. We love that. So thank you so much, Nancy, for that card. I've got one more to show you. This one was from Sarah Douglas, the CEO over at Stampin' Up! And she sent me a congratulations card. I'd reached a new milestone, and I thought this one was just so pretty. She used, I believe that is from Hippo and Friends, and just cut some designer series paper, a simple little congratulations. And I don't know if you can see it. She did some wonderful little gold speckle with the Wink of Stella. Or not gold, I guess it would be kind of an iridescent, but yeah, I thought it was so pretty. So there we go. Those are just some fun show and tells for you. And so thank you guys so much for sending the cards. I sure do love it. All right, I'm going to flip my camera around one more time so I can say goodbye. Guys, I hope you have a fabulous week. Stay warm for those of you that got hit with this wonderful little storm. Go get yourself a cup of some tea and do some stamping this week. I'm looking forward to stamping with you guys again on March 3rd, same time, same channel, Simply Simple Stamping here at YouTube. And that'll be at the same time, so 11 a.m. Central Time. And so that will be 9 a.m. out there Pacific Time. So for those of you in California, those of you on the East Coast, we'll be on at noon. So I hope that you guys can join me for our next one. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.